what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling is, imagine like a butterfly coming out of its cocoon, right? And how it looks, but then I want you to really imagine how it feels, right? Like being like curled up in this like very tight contracted space, and then kind of, opening out, and what that would feel like, right? So I hear the word big in my mind, but then that's the image that goes along with it, is this cracking open out of this hard, almost crunchy outer shell of busyness and doing, evolving in a sense to like what I'm hearing is a sphere of connection, right? So allowing yourself to crack out and open from this place that maybe you personally, individually, have been containing yourself in very tightly and contracted. Um, and I think we all have that inside of ourselves in some way, in terms of maybe mentally confining ourselves in habits, maybe even like rituals that no longer work for us, routine, structure, and now having this sense for, or maybe even being like pushed, like maybe something is pushing us that, hey, you have to step out of this form, this molding that you have known for so long, and allow yourself to unfurl. It's like it's coming out of this little shell, coming out of the shell, um, and allowing what wants to arise to be and to come to the surface. Right here we are, and maybe it's shiny, right? Like maybe we actually feel shiny in that, but maybe it's going to take a minute. Maybe we actually feel a little bit sticky, right, from being in this. Like maybe we're not sure yet how we want to move, or how we just naturally move in this new form, in this new space. And that's okay, right? It's a little ripple effect. Like it's going to take time for that to adjust and allow ourselves to now be exposed, right? In something different, in a new way. In a new way that we're learning to shine, right? So even if it feels in this moment sticky, oh, I'm out of this new shell, it feels sticky, right? It doesn't mean that it'll be that way for long, forever. Could last a night, could last a week, could last a little while we're making changes and discovering, like, oh, this is how it feels to live in this new reality, this new headspace, this new mentality. But kudos, right? Like, allow there to be a celebration, some applause for, hey, you're doing the work. In whatever reflection, whatever way that looks like for you now, at this point, right? Because with so much going on, it almost seems impossible that we're not doing work on, within, around around in our world on some level. Yeah, and so it's not commonplace to be like, oh, I'm just gonna celebrate this. I'm just gonna celebrate that I, am building this new awareness. It's not like logical. It's almost like we have to separate ourselves a little bit and say, well, I'm gonna soak this in and realize that I'm doing something good, that I'm making some changes for myself, which are then going to impact the shape of what is around me. right? The shape of what's around me. Could be your home, could be your job, friends, family, impacting the shape of what's around you. So jumping in, right? Discovering what that thing is, nourishing that thing, cultivating something within, and aligning, right? Where you're headed. Steps. Beautiful little steps in order to get us there to this place. Not something that, happens like that overnight. Again, butterfly, right? Ooh, I don't know how long it actually takes. But it'd be interesting to find out, like, how long does it actually take for a butterfly, caterpillar to do this whole transformation, right? And sense of time is different, I imagine, for all beings, but it doesn't happen overnight, yeah? And so moving slow, feeling the body, feeling the essence, feeling the sense of like what's shifting, celebrating that, and saying, okay, like I put a toe in there. I put a little toe in there and tried this out. And now what has changed? What do I feel? What am I aligning with now? Lots of questions, right? Like, and that feels good to have that there's questions enough, because things have shifted and stirred. That now there's question enough that how much further am I going to push myself to evolve and take on this, and maybe in a sense, for some of you, a challenge, like taking on this challenge of, what's next, and not just putting yourself in a box and conforming to everything else that's happening around you, but listening in and saying, oh, this is what it looks like when I dive in. This is what it looks like when I make a little bit of change in my world, in my life. Yeah? It looks different, and I celebrate that. I celebrate that I was willing to dive in and make some change, make some noise. That I, cracked out of this shell and somehow have managed to feel bigger and stronger than I've ever imagined.